stand here.
I can't put that on there. You know who Chuck Camp is? I'll call this special.
Mayor, this item appeared on the last City Council meeting as a consent agenda item, and we elected to move this to the special called meeting so we could have a little more time to work with the council and staff to come to an agreement on what the new medical insurance plan change would look like in terms of cost. The plan itself has not changed, so tonight is simply to look at how the costs will be shared between the employees and the city of Smyrna. An email went out earlier this week, and we've had discussion on 6 different options. Option number 1 being the option that maintains the contribution between the employees and the city the same, and that would result in a cost to the city of Smyrna of $411,792. And the second option appeared to be another viable option that came out in discussion, and that would result in a city of Smyrna cost of $358,945. And the reason the cost is going down is the employee contribution would increase by 1%. If you have specific questions about any of this matrix, I'll be happy to entertain it.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've had a spirited debate about these various plan options over the last couple weeks, and I appreciate the staff providing the information and our service providers researching and putting together a number of good proposals and options to be considered. And as we raised questions, they were very good about getting the information and all the facts and communicating that back to us verbally and in writing. And I know a lot of work and effort went into that. It's a time of year where open enrollment is just around the corner, starting in November for our employees, and it's important that we resolve what the insurance choices are going to be for the city employees, so staff can prepare the necessary documents with our service providers, and we can have open enrollment and provide the employees all the very needed information they must have in order to take that home and have discussions with their families and consider their choices and make the choice that is right for them. I know within the council there's disagreement on what the best and preferred options are, and I'm going to make a motion that I expect will fail, but I'm going to make it anyway. Of the 6 plan options, I'm going to move that we approve plan option item number 1, which is the same plan design and maintain the same employee contribution percentage. So move.
I have a motion to, option plan number 1 is what's on the table. We have a motion to adopt that, which would increase, it's still going to increase the employee and the family. And it would be a cost back to the city of $411,000. Do we hear a second on that? Okay, that dies for lack of a second. Is that correct, Mr. Cochran? Okay. Anybody else have any ideas?
I actually move to approve option 2, which would be item 2015-335, approval of the 2016 employee insurance providers and plans, which would be Blue Cross Blue Shield of Georgia and Guardian, and authorize the mayor to execute all related documents. This, however, would be for option 2, which is the same plan design, but it increases the employee contribution by 1%. This means that the cost increase for the city would be $358,948. So that's about $50,000 less than what option 1 would have the city increase. It increases the amount that a family would pay by $10.55. So the family would pay $10.55 more per month than their increase would be with option 1. The single increase would be an increase of about $3.12 per month so they pay $6.11 more per month with this option. And there'd be no deductible change for the employees. And that's why I support this and why I made this motion, because I feel like we need to be pragmatic. Health insurance costs are increasing for everyone who has health insurance, and they're going to continue to increase. And so I really feel that if we maintain the same employee contribution level, it's not realistic, and employees are eventually going to see an increase one day down the road, and it's much more easier to adjust your family's budget to a smaller increase every year than to a large increase that might hit you rather unexpectedly. So I do support this motion with option 2.
Second.
Motion second to approve option 2. Which,
Could we have a little discussion on that item? Terry, I missed I missed something in there as far as what you were quoting as your increases. I thought you said 3. I was missing the numbers.
The single will increase by doing option 2. It'll be an increase of $3.12 more than what the increase would be.
I understand now.
If we go with option 1.
Thank you.
And also, I do want to comment that, here as the council, we really have to, with this issue particularly, we're having to find the balance between what is fiscally responsible for the taxpayers, but also what is prudent and responsible of us as employers, because we are beholden to both. We need to take care of our employees, and we need to make sure that we are good stewards of the taxpayers' money. And I really feel like option 2 is the best way to accomplish both of those missions.
Any other discussion, Mr. Fennell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to make an observation for the employees who may be listening in on this discussion. We've weighed very heavily, and over the years we've set an internal goal of an 80-20 participation rate, where the city, as a part of our benefits package offering to the employees, bore 80% of the cost and then pass on 20% of the cost. We're in that window. We're going to hover within that window of 80-20 as a policy of this council, and I hope the next council adopts the similar, if not more, an aggressive participation partnership. But to just share, for each pay period, the plans we're choosing from, by maintaining the current company and benefits package that you enjoy now, the cost went up this year, and you would either be at $3.23 more per pay period, or what we're suggesting with this council at $2.88 more. That is $6.11 per pay period for a single, and for a family, it's going from $13.73 to $24.28. So we believe that minor increase, while we understand that each family has different needs, that we kept the deductible in that reasonable range, and we also made sure that the annual costs per capita, also the individual costs and the family costs at the increase were minimal, and that the city maintained a healthy participation benefit for you. So the city will be paying $358,945 toward the benefit package for the city employees. That's for a considerable amount of money, but that's the increase that we experience in the marketplace. We all know that insurance costs have gone up. We've negotiated some good rates, and by virtue of our wellness program, we're able to keep these at a very competitive rate. And I support option 2 to pass on to the customers and the citizens of the city a fair shared burden on this, and we continue to maintain a city obligation to our employees to the tune of nearly $359,000 as payment of our portion for the city employee benefit.
Is the bulk of the increases in the family portion of the plan? Okay. Any other discussion? Mr. Lanico.
Yes, sir. This is not a moral issue where there's a right and wrong answers. There's perhaps a number of correct answers of varying degrees, and I certainly respect the choices the other council members make. For me, I will not support this motion. I do believe the first option is fair. Ron mentioned the 80-20 split. I've supported that for many, many years, and we've worked hard to achieve that. We're currently, in terms of our overall plan design, counting employees and retirees, the city portion actually overall is around 79%. So in the first case, I'm opposed to transferring another 1% onto the backs of our employees. I think we should stick to our goal, which is 80-20. Secondly, in terms of the impact, the most populated category of our employees' insurance choices is the employee plus a family. And for a family, the increase under option number 2 annualizes out at a little over $630 a year. If the average employee receives an average personnel evaluation and an average 2% pay increase, as we've authorized, if you're an employee who's a department head and making $75,000, $100,000 a year, $630 something is one thing. If you're a low-ranking, low-paid hourly employee working in public works or parks or other department, $630 something is almost the entire amount of your annual pay increase. And we're just, again, transferring an even greater share of the burden from, I guess, 79% to 78% on the city, and from 21 to 22% onto the employee, and wiping out their pay increase at the same time. And for that reason, I just can't support that. I think option 1 is still the best choice, and I will vote against this motion.
Mr. Mayor, if I could seek correction there, I think we're still hovering around the 79%. It's just we're reflecting the increase in cost that the program brought to us, and we're sharing that cost more on a more equal basis rather than the city bearing most of the cost. Am I understanding that correctly, Mr. Administrator?
Yes, sir. The option number 1 still has about $166,000 of costs going to the employees in terms of the entire plan. And as we talked about earlier, both the city and the employee, even if the percentages stay the same, are they're paying more because we're taking that same percentage, but it's of a bigger number. Transferring an additional 1% onto the employee does increase the exposure to those families by it increases about 45% above what they would normally see. So just for clarification, if you went with option 1, that same family cost would be an additional $357 a year. Option 2 would raise that to $631 a year.
And it still costs the city $358,000.
Yes, sir, that's correct. It's option 1 costs the city $411,792, and option 2 would be $358,945.
I know when we had previously discussed this, it's like everybody had one of the 6 options that was there. That's one that they wanted, and I don't know that we ever got a consensus of what from that, but this does impact the family by the most. But the city's still eating $358,000 in additional cost. So, any other discussion? Had a motion, a second. All those in favor of that motion, please vote. All right. What do you got? Because my screen's not coming in.
Yeah, I did.
I can't see the screen. Here we go. It's approved 6-1. Mr. Lineco votes in the next. That's the only 2 items on the agenda. Is that correct? Or the only item on the agenda?
The only item on the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
If there's no other business to be brought before this body, I declare this special call meeting adjourned at 3. Oh, it's not 3. 7:45.
Thank you.